Got some news for you. The power tripped. It's not like it's not because I wired like. Okay, it both is and is not because I wired too many things. It turns out the manufacturer is a greedy bitch and requires a lot of power to work. It's one of the things I can't overclock. So you want to know how long it would take for me to get 500 um what are they called? The five fuck, what are they called? No, not that. Yeah, you want to know how long it would take for me to get 500 modular engines? 5 hours. I'm not even kidding. Because I have to leave it by default one modular engine per minute. 600 minutes would be let's see. Hang on. Let's bring out the calculator. So 500 divided by 500 modular engines divided by no stop it 500 divided by what, 5 or 60. I mean, I think I may need less than 500. No, I don't, cuz no, okay, maybe I technically do need less than 500 because I think I put in rubber on my own before, but okay, no, I'm not wrong. I'm pretty sure it would take around 5 hours for me to get 500 modular engines. I don't know if the automated computer part or whatever it's called, is adaptive computer unit, is going to be easier to make. Let's take a look. Adaptive control unit, not computer unit. This was... It was the more annoying one to make. Mostly because... Not only because of the heavy modular frame, but because of how demanding these circuit boards are. Which is why I need these, Oh, by the way, in case you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm gonna be hooking up, the rubber and plastic conveyor belts into one. I mean, I already did that, but I'm going to be hooking up this conveyor belt all the way to the oil thing, because if I want to, like, have some of the cooler stuff, I'm gonna need more power. So for right now, I'm gonna have to make do with what I got. And what I got is 8 coal generators, 8 water thingies that power the generators. And when I get the nuclear reactors, I know they're probably gonna be hella expensive to make, so I'm not gonna tear down my assembly line just yet. Cause I know that, there has been a pattern. Any new tier I unlock uses things from previous tiers. So I'm not gonna tear down my assembly line the moment I unlock the new tiers. I'm gonna be smart. I'm gonna see what I need and try to accommodate for that. Is that the right word? Accommodate? Compensate. So I'm just hoping it doesn't ask for more like space elevator computer parts, because that would be, I mean, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world since I've managed to do it before, but it would be kind of a hassle to set that all up again. I mean, funny thing, the power actually tripped last night, and I think it may have something to do with how I basically tried to overclock the manufacturer, which in hindsight was a very bad idea, because it uses, like, what, 240 megawatts by default? And I was like, hey, you know what I should do? I should try to overclock this machine that's going to demand even more power. It's no wonder. Hey, did I visit that crash site yet? You know what? I did not. I did not visit that crash site yet. Yeah, so I was at the oil thing, and when I woke up this morning, I was, like, stranded, so I had to use a biomass burner just to power the hypertube to get myself back to the area. Oops. Okay, build mode. I'm very excited though, because, like, a day or two ago, I was feeling so ready to just give up on this game because I didn't think I could actually get this far. But with persistence, I've managed to stay strong and make it through this far. Now, I don't think this game really has any kind of ending. I think it just has a kind of... Oh. I don't think the game really has an ending. I think it just kind of has a goal you have to reach, which is to complete all the phases of the space elevator. But even if I do accomplish that, I still want to like kind of mess around some, you know? I want to see what I can find. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be like an update 6 coming out in the future someday. So I want to make sure I'm around for that, because I want to see if they'll make any actual use for like the alien artifacts and all that. And okay, there is jack diddly shit out of anything useful up here. But you know what? I'll take these screws. I'll take these screws. Might come in handy. You know what? I already have a lot of these, so what's the harm in consuming 5? Now these do take like 10 minutes each roughly to make. Wait. Currently building name. It's like flashing on the screen whenever I pulled it up. This thing is called building name. Must be like a default kind of thing. I actually haven't been over there. I haven't been over there. I was so focused on everything else that I never went that way. Now I'm really curious. But you know what? I'm gonna focus on my conveyor belt first. Plus, I would need more concrete if I wanted to avoid using any other things for that. I'm gonna leave this bridge here though, because I think this is the best way to like get over there. But yeah, I nearly fell asleep last night because I had to. I wanted to like stay up late enough to like do all this. Caterium ore. Okay, I really do love how shiny it looks. I really do. Like, I just wanted to like get as far as I could before I went to bed. And I'm glad I did, because I at least am making progress. And just to remind you guys, using Mark 1 conveyor belts is better than using Mark 3, because using Mark 1, it is a lot slower, but it is a more consistent line with... The thing you have to think about is not how fast these things are carried, but how evenly you can balance out the production versus the conveying, if that makes sense. Because some of these materials take quite a bit to make, and if they're overclocked enough, you can evenly balance out, or maybe even make equal how long it takes for that product to be made, and how long it takes for it to be carried in an even pattern without any large gaps in the conveyor line. So let's say I wanted to make screws. If I were to place down a constructor and I were to turn iron into screws, or iron bars into screws, I would want a slow conveyor line, because if I place down a Mark III, it's only going to carry like 3 bunches of screws at a time, and it won't like evenly add up to the rest of the machine that needs those screws. You know what I'm saying? So the important thing is to always make sure you know just what speed your machines require. I guess that's why a lot of my machines, wait, why is it going... Oh, wait, duh, no, okay, no. It leads to the manufacturer, that's right. My brain derped for a second. Like, that's why it's important. It's more than just placing down a machine and just connecting it to something to power it. You actually have to consider, what do you want the speed of the conveyor belt to be? How much do you want to overclock the manufacturing machine, the constructor, the assembler, whatever? And like the most efficient way is to have a consistent line of that material going, you know? You just want it to keep going, and you want to be able to not have any inconsistencies. And then you want to focus on the power. Now, my friend Zippy, he told me, my friend Zippy told me, the more you overclock a machine, the more power it's going to require. Now, depending on the machine, it will require different amount of power and different amounts of power. That much I've definitely learned. I've also learned that it is true. If you try to overclock a machine, it will want more power. Something else I've learned is sometimes it's better for certain machines to not be overclocked. Not only because you'd want to save power, but also because it doesn't feel that worth it trying to overclock the manufacturer, because all it really does is provide, like, what? It provides, like, 3 modular engines a minute at most. Now, that might sound like it would shorten the time it takes for everything to be made, but even if I wanted to do that, I can't. Because that would take a lot more power, and that would trip the power grid. So, I definitely have to just let it run for like 5 hours. And I have to make sure it's working first. I have to make sure that everything on the conveyor line is working and that nothing is gonna, fail. Also of note, the other important reason I want to make this conveyor belt and not just carry the plastic and rubber back with me is because I've noticed that after a certain amount of time, the refinery just stops. It doesn't continue making the plastic and everything, even if there's room. And the reason why is because of the heavy oil that's in it. If it fills up a tank, it's a very, very absolute, guaranteed outcome that it's not going to continue making it if the heavy oil fills up. So, here's the thing, right? I don't know if the heavy... I think what it is if the plastic is going somewhere where it's being consumed, where it's being turned into something else, my best guess is that maybe the heavy oil will not will not fill it up. But I would have to make sure. And considering that all the plastic isn't really going anywhere, I think what I really need to do is watch and see if the heavy oil is going to no longer fill up and stop the machine from doing anything once I connect this conveyor. Also, this is also going to be kind of a nice way to get back up here if I fall. It'll especially make for a very nice bridge, so everything kind of works out here. And even if I do complete the space elevator thing and I have all these things I can make, there's still a lot of the world I have not explored, like that island back there, the one I pointed out earlier. I have not, there's a lot of the world I have not explored. I've just been focusing more on building everything first, because if I find something I want and I have the tiers to make what I want to make my life convenient about it, like that nitrogen gas. Let's say I wanted to get that nitrogen gas, right? I would potentially have a tier unlocked where I could use a monorail system to go back and forth, just carrying that nitrogen gas to me. Now, I'm not saying that's what I'm gonna do, but it's definitely something I can do if I wanted to, you know? So that's why when I go out to explore, it'll be really nice to have plenty of material on me. Now, I can't have every material on me at the same time, because, well, who knows, maybe some of that material requires things that I wanted to get to use for those tiers. Like, if I wanted nitrogen gas, I probably would have needed it to, like, make a monorail or something, which I would have used to get nitrogen gas. You know, it's kind of like ironic, or it's kind of backwards. So, it's definitely important that in this game you look into everything before you just make assumptions. Because you never know when you're gonna find out how wrong you were about something. That's what happened to me. I mean, I didn't realize I would need so many motors, but take a look at my to-do list. Speaking of which, I don't think I've gotten into that enough. I really, really like the feature of the to-do list. And, because, like, when you think about it, imagine how much math and programming had to go into a calculator like this. You could punch in any number at all. And the game's like, oh, okay, so you need this many? Here's how many of this material you'll need. Like, I'm sure there was probably some simple line of code that allowed it to be like its own internal calculator. But I find it fascinating that it's something possible in this game. I mean, how many games have you seen where you can calculate exactly how many things you need and it tells you? I mean, I know games have done that, but I can't list that many off the top of my head that have actually done that I can clearly remember. So, that's what I love about this game. It's not just being able to make my own factory that I love. It's the fact that the developers, they think of everything when it comes to this game. They think of absolutely everything. Even things you might think you wouldn't need, you would later find out, oh, this situation could have been easily resolved. Or can be easily resolved if I have this or that. And I love that. It really makes you feel like anything is possible in this game. I knew this would be worth the purchase, and I'm so glad to learn that I was not wrong. I mean, I actually had it gifted to me by my friend Full Moon, and I'm really grateful. I really am, because this game is fucking amazing. So, come to think, I removed the power cells from the manufacturer, and I'm curious, how much power is... So, I took a look earlier, and the manufacturer was, like, even when not overclocked, the manufacturer was making power go up to, like, 1,204 out of 1,214 megawatts. Yeah, it used that much power. Which is why I said, trying to overclock the manufacturer is not a good idea unless you either have a smaller assembly line, which I do not, obviously, or you basically just have a lot of powerful generators, which I soon will. Because, holy crap. Actually, come to think, wasn't there a tier that had, like, a generator for fuel? And I'm right near a fuel node, so... Yeah, I did, didn't I? I totally did. Oh, no, don't erase that here. I totally did. So maybe, once I get back to the base, I can look into what it takes to get that thing. Probably something really expensive. Probably. I've also just now realized that I don't know how long the power was out in my game while... Sorry, I had to sneeze. I don't know how long the power was out while I was asleep. Oh, power was out in my game. So it's quite... Oh, dear. So it's quite possible that, I will need to... It's quite possible that I didn't get as many coupons as I probably would have wanted. From the sync machine, so I'm gonna have to look into that. Also, wait. What does it take to make versatile framework? I just realized. I can make versatile framework at the coal plant. You want to know how I know that? Because I remember when I first went around to the area with that coal plant, there was like, I think there was like an iron and a copper node. Ooh. Could I? Could I? Oh my god, I could totally make versatile framework. And then, because that versatile framework gives so fucking many points, ooh, that could be good. That could be very, very good. That could definitely be something I can use. Oh, this makes me very happy. This makes me happy to figure this out. 'Cause, like, honestly, wait. Is this Oh, this kind of is facing north. Okay. Although not exactly. That could be very good for me. That could be very, very good. Oh, that's something I want to do now. That's totally something I want. I didn't realize the conveyor was so close. And boom. So, one other thing, I know that you probably might have thought that all those exploration clips, I don't know how many of you thought they might have been unnecessary or very unexpected or confusing. I want to simplify that. Basically, what I was doing in those was I was looking for, like, either power slugs or some kind of, like, ore for convenience. And look, there it goes. There it goes. Hang on. I need to split these into 2 different containers. So, that's why I was, like, exploring all of those biomes. Maybe even before I was supposed to, which I will acknowledge was a possibility. But, exploring these areas really gives me a sense of, like... It really gives me a sense of hope that maybe I can find something to aid in my predicament, like if I needed more power slugs or something. And looking back on it now, finding those power slugs was not a waste if the manufacturer requires more power than I can overclock it to, because I can still give my whole power grid more power. And knowing that, I already have an advantage of, like, having. Let me see. I have how many? 29 power cells, so, I mean, 3 can't go into that, but it can power, if I wanted to put 3 in each, that could power 9 machines, and 9 machines would definitely be able to make something, no matter how expensive. So, I already am kind of a step ahead, so I definitely feel like I have a beneficial gain here. So, real quick, I'm going to go ahead and go back. I'm going to split the, I have a smart splitter, so I kind of want to see if that's going to work. Honestly, if the monorail system is faster than the, that voice correct, than the, hypertube system, I may just replace hypertubes with monorails. But, I don't know. I mean, monorails also require electricity, but then again, so do hypertubes and monorails both require electricity. Monorails, I think monorails would be at least more consistent and useful, because hypertubes are faster than walking or running or whatever, but the only downside is they are affected by the laws of, fuck, what was I gonna say? By laws of motion, velocity, speed, something. Basically speed, because going downhill to go back to my base is faster. Going uphill to go from my base to wherever that connects to is a downside. It slows me down. Okay, so this right here. Now, I have a lot of bacon and carrot. I could actually use some of this stuff to I could probably use this in the ma'am. Okay, so can I make a smart splitter? I want to see how this thing works. Ah, I need a fucking AI limiter. So real quick, gonna make sure nothing gets clogged up in there.